Thanks for stopping by, GF Explorers. Today we are starting at the cooktop caramelizing onions because onions take a good 20, 25, or even up to 30 minutes to fully caramelize. You can see I've already started. I've got one medium onion sliced thin. Got it in my pan with a little salt and pepper and olive oil. And then we don't want to fry these onions. You can see my pan's starting to get a little dry. So one of the things I want to do here is add just a little bit of water to keep our onions nice and moist, get those sugars coming out of there and making those onions nice and dark brown. Now the big question is, why are we caramelizing onions? Because today we are making patty melts. One of my favorite ways to eat a burger is a good classic patty melt. So these onions are going to need about another 10 or 15 minutes before they're done. So what we're going to do is go get ready to make our patty melts. Now, if you're gluten-free, it may have been a while since you've had a good patty melt. Many of the commercially available breads out there today in the gluten-free world just can't hold up to, one, the cooking on a super hot grill to get that nice toast that we want, and two, they just can't stand up to the juices of a patty melt with the cheese and the onions and the butter that the bread is toasted on. Many gluten-free breads just can't handle that. Well, fortunately, Victoria and I have created a recipe, and you can check that out right here. We'll also put a link down in the description below. But we've made a gluten-free bread that we are confident can stand up to the extreme needs of the patty melt. So let's go ahead and get started. While our onions continue to caramelize, let's go ahead and start making our patties. I've got in the bowl a pound of 80/20 ground chuck. I love using one chuck for my hamburgers. To me, it has the most flavor. And then secondly, 80/20. You've got to have some fat in there, guys, for a great hamburger or patty melt. And today I'm going to show you my secret for making my ground beef patties taste almost better than you would get in a restaurant. And it's right here. It's umami powder, which is basically just dried ground shiitake and porcini mushrooms, is the only thing that's in here. You can get this on Amazon. We'll put a link to it down in the description below. It's a little bit pricey. I think this little couple ounce bag is $9.99, but let me tell you what it does to your hamburger and other recipes that you use it in. Takes it right over the top and gives you that amazing umami flavor that you just don't get without it. And a little bit of this goes a long way. So to our 1 pound of ground beef, you only need to add about a half a teaspoon of the umami powder to your ground beef. We'll just go ahead and sprinkle that in. Put this off to the side. Now we want to gently fold this in to the ground beef. That looks pretty good. I've divided my pound of ground beef up in 6 balls, approximately 2 ounces apiece. I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it, make sure they all look roughly the same. What I want to do is gently roll these into a ball. Again, keeping in mind we don't want to compress our beef down as much as possible. There you have it, 6 ground beef balls for our 3 patty melts that we're going to make. Next, I'm going to go check the onions, see how they're caramelizing, and then we're going to assemble the rest of our ingredients. The great thing about the patty melt is it can pretty much be assembled on the griddle top. So what I wanted to do is gather all our ingredients together to show you what you're going to need to assemble your sandwich. Of course, we got our 80/20 ground beef balls that have that delicious umami powder in there. Next is the cheese. Now the classic patty melt uses a Swiss. I'm using a sliced goat cheese that I get from Trader Joe's. And the one thing I like about this cheese over Swiss is it brings a really beautiful earthy flavor to the sandwich. And we're all about bringing more flavor to the party. Next is our gluten-free bread. We made this a couple of weeks ago. It's been in the freezer. I pull it out, put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds. Next to that is some melted butter with just a little bit of garlic salt in it. And what we're going to do is when we put the bread on the grill, we're going to brush it down with that. The addition of the garlic salt, once again, is just bringing a little more flavor to the party. Then there's our beautiful caramelized onions. We'll get those on the grill as well to kind of heat those back up. And next is our special sauce, our burger sauce. If you guys haven't had the opportunity to watch the 4 classic burger sauce video that we did a few weeks back, do yourself a favor before you make your patty melt. Go check that out and make this sauce. It's quick, it's simple, and it's just delicious. And then finally is another ingredient, yellow mustard. that we're going to use, and I'll show you what we're going to do with this once we pull the Blackstone Griddle out, to again take our patties, or to take our sandwich over the top. So there's everything you need. We've got everything assembled. Let's set up the grill and make our sandwich. If you've watched our channel, you know before I've talked a lot about the Blackstone Grill. We love the Blackstone Grill. If you don't have one, you can certainly do this on your cooktop on a big fry pan or even a cast iron skillet. But you can see the grill is smoking hot. The first thing, I've got one side's on high for our patties, one side's on low for our caramelized onions and our bread. So the first thing I want to do is drop those caramelized onions on there. Again, we want to warm those back up. So let's spread those out a little bit. Next, we're going to take a little bit of that butter with the garlic salt in it, brush it on the bread, and get it on the Blackstone. Everybody's grills are a little bit different. Mine, the front is a lot cooler than the back, so that's why I've got our bread up in the front. We also want the butter on both sides of the bread. So now that these are down, I'm going to go ahead and brush these really quick. There we go. Now we're going to get our patties down. We got 2 patties per sandwich, so we're going to need 4 of our ground beef patties. We'll go ahead and get these on the grill. Spread them out because we are going to be doing the smash. I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper just on the one side. These patties are so thin that we don't need to salt and pepper both sides. So one trick I want to show you for smashing your patties without everything sticking to the griddle. These have been on for a minute. We're going to go ahead and flip them over, and they are hot. Now we're going to take our spatula and our weight and press them down. And that little cooked portion that was there will prevent the patty from sticking to your spatula. And we're still getting a little bit of sticking, but and let's do this last one. There we go, and we're going to let those go for a couple of minutes. They will start to turn color around the edges and bleed up on the top to tell you when they're ready to turn, and they're going to cook really fast. And while that's going on, you can see our bread. Like I mentioned, the front of the grill is a lot cooler than the back, so we're going to switch these so we can get some even color. We got that. Let's go ahead and flip our onions. And you can see our patties here are starting to bleed on the top. That's telling us that they are ready to flip. Let's go ahead and give those a turn and look at that nice char we got on there. And we're going to make one of these sandwiches with cheese and one without cheese. So we're going to put cheese on the 2 patties here on the right. Okay, our cheese is nice and melty. Our patties are done. Our onions are hot. So let's go ahead and assemble our sandwich. I like to put a thin coat of our burger sauce on each slice of bread. This one needs a little bit more, and this one looks a little light too. There's that. Let's assemble our cheeseless burger first. Put those patties on there. A nice amount of the grilled onion. And get our top bun. And right on top. And plate that up. Next we'll have our patty melt with cheese. Get the remainder of our onions. Get our top bun. Turn the grill off. Ooh, that is hot. And we'll plate that up. I almost forgot, one of the things I told you was going to take your patty melt over the top was the yellow mustard. I completely didn't do my trick on our burger, so I'm going to show you guys what to do with these other two patties that we have here. So we're going to get these patties on the grill. Again, we're going to season the one side with salt and pepper. We'll give these a quick turn. Grab our smasher. Flatten that out just a little bit more. And now for the trick. Once you flip those patties over, you get a nice helping of the yellow mustard on the raw portion of the patty. Cover all sides of it. For those of you familiar with In-N-Out Burger, if you live on the West Coast, this is kind of very similar to the In-N-Out double animal style. So very similar technique. They grill the patties with yellow mustard. Okay. You can see our patties are starting to bleed on the top. So once again, that's telling us that we're ready to flip. So we'll grab our spatula, get under these, and then we're going to sear that yellow mustard right into those patties. Okay, our patties are done. I've got our sandwich, sauce on each side, caramelized onions on there. Stack those patties up and get them right on your patty melt. And now we're ready to enjoy our patty melt. Well, there you have it, guys. There is our patty melt. And we're going to do the cut test. And you can see how well our gluten-free bread is holding up through the cooking process. And there you have it, guys. Delicious, gluten-free patty melt. And now the fun part. Wow, everything works so well together on this. The special sauce, the sliced goat cheese, the caramelized onions, that umami powder in the beef gives it just that. It amps up the beefy flavor of the sandwich. Just a classic sandwich where everything works so well on. Well, there you go, guys. Classic patty melt made gluten-free on what we feel is the best gluten-free bread we can create. I hope you make the bread and make this sandwich as well. Thanks for following along. The full recipe is in the description down below. Be sure and like this video, subscribe to our channel, and for sure hit that notification bell so you can be alerted when we do more great sandwiches just like this one. And until next time, guys, happy eating.